morning, students. In previous class, we have seen social and religious reform movement in the 19th century. Who was the pioneer of social and religious reform movement? Already we saw Rajaram Mohan Rai was the pioneer of social and religious reform movement. Rajaram Mohan Rai started the Brahma Samaj. So this Samaj condemned idol worship, caste rites and rituals, caste distinctions, untouchabilities, and the practice of sati. With the effort of Rajaram Mohan Rai and Lord William Pentic, when was sati abolished? Sati was abolished in the year 1829. So Sati Prohibition Act was passed in the year 1829. Then we discussed when he was founded the Brahma Samaj. Brahma Samaj was founded in the year 1828. Then we discussed Maharishi Devendranath Tagore, Keshabi Chandra Sen. After the death of Rajaram Mohan Rai, the work of the Samaj was carried by the great men like Keshabi Chandra Sen and Devendranath Tagore. Due to the effort of Keshabi Chandra Sen, an act was passed in 1872. It abolished polygamy and child marriage. Then we discussed Keshabi Chandra Sen, where he was born. He was born in 19th November in the year 1838 at Kolkata. Died in 8th January 1884 in Kolkata. Then today class we are going to discuss Ishwara Chandra Vidyasagar. He was born in 1820 and died in the year 1891. Another outstanding reformer in Bengal was Ishwara Chandra Vidyasagar. While Ram Mohan Rai or Raja Ram Mohan Rai and others looked to Western rationalist ideas to reform the society. But Vidyasagar argued that the Hindu scriptures were progressive. So Ishwara Chandra Vidyasagar is the revivalist of Hinduism. He is the reformer from Bengal. He arranged that the Hindu scriptures were progressive. I already told that what is called the revivalism of Hindus. So Ishwara Chandra Vidyasagar, he says that none of the Hindu scriptures have been sanctioned of burning of widows or prohibition of widow remarriages of the Hindus. So he wrote of polemical tract. Polemical means argument tract and was the pioneer of modern Bengal prose. He played a leading role in promoting education of girls and helped them in setting up a number of schools. He played an important role for giving education for girls and also setting up many schools. As a result, the Widow Remarriage Act was passed in the year 1856. This act was intended to improve the lot of child widows and save them from the perpetual widowhood. It was also to credit of Vidyasagar that the first age of consent was included in Indian Penal Code, which was enacted in 1860. The age for marriage was fixed as 10 years. Again, between 1891 and 1925, the marriage age has been increased from 10 to 12 to 13 years. Next, we are going to see Prarthana Samaj. Prarthana Samaj was founded in Bombay in 1867 by Dr. Atmaran Pandurang. Atmaran Pandurang was born in the year 1829 and died in the year 1898. So, Prarthana Samaj advocated various social reforms. It advocated entertaining, intercaste marriage, widow remarriage, then improvement of women, downtrodden classes, and the abolition of the Parda system and child marriage. And were also two distinguished members of this Samaj were R.C. Bandarkar or C.B. Bandarkar, then and Justice Mahadev Govinda Rande. So these were two the prominent people who were there in the Brahma Samaj. It is something like the Brahma Samaj. It has also brought a lot of changes in the society, social changes, and also changes in the religion. So this Samaj, the Prarthana Samaj, devoted its activities such as intercaste tining, intercaste marriage, widow marriage, and improvement of women and depressed classes. What is intercaste tining? It made all the people intercaste tining. And then Mahadev Govinda Rande, he was a founder of Widow Marriage Association. He was founded in the year 1861. Then also he was founded the Purna Sarvajanika Sabha. It was founded in the year 1870 and the Deccan Education Society 1884. Mahadev Govinda Rande was born in the year 1842 and died in the year 1901. Next we are going to see Hindu Revivalism. What is meant by Hindu Revivalism? The act of becoming or making something strong or popular again. The next we are going to see Swami Dayananda Saraswati and Arya Samaj 1875. Arya Samaj. Swami Dayananda Saraswati founded the Arya Samaj in the year 1875. His original name was Mulshankar. He was born in a well-to-do family in Muravi in the state of Kadivar. Early in his childhood, he took up sannyas and wandered from place to place and studied Sanskrit and became a great scholar. He mastered the Sanskrit and became the disciple of Swami Vivekananda. Dayananda Saraswati found out that the Vedas contained all the truth, and he devoted his life to the propagation of Vedas. So his motto was go back to Vedas. He put before the people some of the attractive elements of ancient Vedic society, and in this way he created the feeling of self-confidence and self-respect. Swami Dayananda Saraswati was born in 1824 and died in the year 1983. Swami Dayananda Saraswati advocated strict monotheism. What is monotheism? The worship of only one God is recommended. Then condemned. Swami Dayananda Saraswati condemned idol worship. That is, the image worship was condemned, and rejection of the Brahmin domination of rituals and social practices. These are the positive principles of Swami Dayananda Saraswati. What was rejected of Dayananda Saraswati? The superstitious belief in Hinduism was rejected. The main cry of Dayananda Saraswati is go back to Vedas. He called all the Hindus people again to read or to get back to the Vedas. What was the main objectives of Arya Samaj? The Arya Samaj, the main objectives of Arya Samaj was condemned the animal sacrifice, idol worship, ritualism, and the ideas of heaven and hell, and the concept of fatalism. He started the Sutik movement, ritual. Sutik movement means a ritual to reconvert the Hindus who had been converted to the other religion earlier is called as the Sutik movement. Then the Arya Samaj opposed child marriage, polygamy, Pada system, caste system, and sati, and advocated and encouraged women education, intercaste marriage, and intertwining. It insisted on education of women and uplifted of depressed class people. The Samaj started a number of schools all over the country to impact English and Vedic education called Dayananda Anglo-Vedic schools and colleges. Next we are going to see Ramakrishna Paramahamsa. The Ramakrishna Mission was named after the Sri Ramakrishna Paramahamsa. Ramakrishna Mission is a voluntary organization founded by Swami Dayananda Saraswati, the chief discipline of Sri Ramakrishna. On 1st May 1897, the mission conducted extensive work in healthcare, disaster relief, rural management, tribal welfare, elementary and higher education, and culture. The mission's headquarters is in Bellur. Bellur is near in Kolkata. Ramakrishna was born an Orthodox Brahmin family in Bengal in 1836. He married Sharada Mani Devi. He was a devotee of goddess of Kali. He was a priest in the Dakshineshwar Kali temple. He had vision of Rama, Shiva, Kali, Allah and Jesus. What he emphasized, the spiritual union with God. He said, Jiva is Siva. All living beings are God. Service for man must be regarded as God. So when you do service to mankind, it is being regarded that the service that is directly to the God. Next we are going to see Ramakrishna Mission. Ramakrishna's primary achievement was his ability to attract the educated youth who were dissatisfied with the rational orientation of religious reform organizations such as the Brahma Samaj. After his death in 1886, his disciples organized themselves as a religious community and undertook the task of making his life and teaching known in India and abroad. The chief spirit behind this task was Vivekananda. Following the organizational structures of Christian missionaries, Vivekananda established Ramakrishna Mission, which did not restrict itself to religious activities but also was actively involved in social causes such as education, healthcare and relief in times of calamities. The next we are going to see Swami Vivekananda. What is the original name of Swami Vivekananda means? Narendra Nath Datta. He was born in the year 1863 and died in the year 1902. Later, he was known as Swami Vivekananda, was the prime follower of Ramakrishna Paramahamsa. An educated youth, he was drawn to Ramakrishna message. Dissatisfied with conventional philosophical position and practices, he advocated the practical Vedanta service to humanity and attracted the tendency to define every institution simply because it was connected with religion. He spread the divine message of Ramakrishna all over the world. In 1893, he was delegated to the Parliament of World Religions at Chicago in USA. His speech here beginning with Sisters and Brothers of Universe became very famous and brought him widespread recognition. So Swami Vivekananda address begin like this: all my dear brothers and sisters, this word of Swami Vivekananda has inspired all the young mind who were present in the religious meet. The aim and the ideas of mission are purely spiritual and humanitarian and has no connection with politics. Vivekananda proclaimed renunciation and service as twofold national ideas of modern India, and the Ramakrishna Mission strives the practice and preach these ideals. The service activities are based on the same thing, Jiva is a Shiva from form. According to Swami Vivekananda, service to poor is service to God. The Ramakrishna Mission has its own hospitals, charitable dispensary, maternity clinic, and mobile dispensary. It also maintains training centers for nurses, orphanages, and homes for the elderly are included in the mission's field of activities along with rural and tribal welfare works. In educational activities, The Ramakrishna Mission has established many renowned educational institutions in India, having its own universities, colleges, vocational training centers. The Ramakrishna Mission has also involved in disaster relief operations during famine, epidemic, fire, flood, earthquakes, cyclones, and communal disturbance. What does mean by Theosophical Society? Next, we are going to see Theosophical Movement. What does mean by Theosophical Society? Theos means God and Sophos means wisdom. So, Theosophical means wisdom of God. Theosophical Society was founded by Russian lady Madame Blavatsky and American Colonel Henry S. Alcott in USA to preach about God and wisdom. What is the main principles of this society? The main principles of Theosophical Society were to develop the feeling of fraternity, to study ancient religion, philosophy and science, to find out the laws of nature and development of divine power in man. Madame Blavatsky was born in the year 1831 and died in 1891. Then H.S. Olcott, Henry S. Olcott was born in the year 1832 and died in 1907. Founded in USA in the year 1875. Later, it was shifted to India at Adayar in Chennai 1886. Theosophical Society stimulated a study of Hindu classics, especially the Upanishads and the Bhagavad Gita. The Theosophical Society also played an important role in the revival of Buddhism in India. Western interest. The Hindu scriptures gave education. Hindus great pride in their tradition and culture. What is the contribution of Annie Besant? In India, the movement became further popular with the election of Annie Besant, 1847. Annie Besant was born in the year 1847 and died in 1933 as its president after the death of Olcott, Henry Olcott. He played an important role in Indian nationalist politics, and also she founded the Home Rule League. Home Rule movement was founded in the year 1916, demanding home rule to India on the lines of Ireland. Annie Besant spread theosophical ideas through her newspaper called New India and Commonwealth. Annie Besant started a newspaper called New India and spread the theosophical ideas. She threw herself into politics, started the Home Rule movement, and attained self-government for the Indians. The headquarters of this society is at Adayar in Chennai, where he had a big library in which she was preserved the rare books of Sanskrit. Thus, Theosophical Society played a important role in the Indian Renaissance. Next, we are going to see anti-caste movement. Anti-caste movement was started by Jyotiba Phule, Narayana Guru and Ayankali. First, we are going to see Jyotiba Phule. Jyotiba Phule was one of the prominent social reformer of the 19th century in India. He led the movement against the prevailing caste restriction in India. He revolted against the domination of the Brahmins and for the rights of the peasants and other low caste people. Jyotiba Phule was believed to be the first Hindu to start an orphanage for the depressed class people and depressed class children. So Jyotiba Phule was born in the year 1827 at Maharashtra. He opened the first school for untouchables in the year 1852 in Pune. He launched the Theosophical Samaj, which means Truth Seeker Society, in 1870. Then he Jyotiba Phule opposed the child marriage and he encouraged the widow remarriage. Jyotiba Phule and his wife Savitri Bai Phule devoted their lives for the upliftment of the depressed class people and women. Jyotiba Phule opened orphanage and homes for the widows. His works, Gulamkari. Gulamkari means slavery is an important text that summarized many of his radical ideas. Next we are going to see Narayana Guru. Sri Narayana Guru was a great social reformer from Kerala. In 1903, Sri Narayana Guru Dharma Paribalan Hojam was started to work for the social, economic and educational development of Edava community and other backward people. He condemned animal sacrifice, casteism and other social evils. So Narayana Guru was born in the year 1852 and died in 1928. He was the scholar of in Malayalam, Tamil and Sanskrit. Then he dedicated his whole life for the betterment of oppressed people. He set up Sri Narayana Dharma Paribalana Hojam, an organization to work for the upliftment of the depressed classes. Then also established a grand temple at Arivipuram and dedicated it to all thinkers and writers such as Kumaran Azan and Dr. Balbu were influenced by his ideas and carried forward the movement. The next we are going to see Ayan Kali. Ayan Kali was born in the year 1863 at Thiruvananthapuram, princely state of Travancore. The discrimination he faced as a child turned him into a leader and anti-caste movement. So Ayan Kali started the anti-caste movement, who later fought for basic rights including access to public spaces and entry to school. He was inspired by the Sri Narayana Guru. Ayan Kali founded the Sada Jana Paribalana Sangam Association, was started in the year 1907. Association for the protection of the poor people. So today class, what we learned Ishwara Chandra Vidyashakar, Prarthana Samaj, Hindu Revivalism, Swami Dayananda Saraswati and Arya Samaj in 1875, Ramakrishna Paramahamsa, Ramakrishna Mission, Swami Vivekananda, Theosophical Society, what is the contribution of anti-peasant, anti-caste movement, Jyotiba Phule, Narayana Guru, Ayan Kali. Remaining I will be continuing in the next video. Thank you students.